The day I decided to finally go through with my treatment, my husband Ethan's sister sent me a text that changed everything. She had never been assaulted by my mentally ill brother. It was all a lie, a scheme she cooked up with Ethan's childhood friend, Maya. Maya's my best friend. She's been in love with my brother forever. She begged me to help her get you out of the picture. That's why I did it. I'm so sorry. My nails dug into my palms. A game? My brother was forced into a psychiatric hospital because of their game. The next day, he accidentally fell from a window. And for the past 3 years, Ethan had made my life a living hell. I was diagnosed with terminal stomach cancer. I looked at the 2 text messages, tears streaming down my face as I laughed. "Doctor, I'm sorry," I said, my voice hollow. "I'm not going to do the chemo. My brother was the only family I had left, and he died because of me." Now that I knew the truth, I had nothing left to live for. It was time to be with him again. The day I decided to finally go through with my treatment, my husband Ethan's sister, Olivia, found me. She told me she had never been assaulted by my brother. It was all a lie, a scheme she cooked up with Ethan's childhood friend, Maya. "Maya has been in love with my brother for years," she said. "She was terrified you'd never let go of your position as his wife, so she begged me for help." Olivia's voice was soft, but each word was a knife in my heart. I was just trying to help my best friend. I never thought it would go this far. "I'm so sorry." My nails dug deep into my palms. A game? Because of their game, Ethan had my brother committed. The next day, we were told he had accidentally fallen from a window. And for 3 years, Ethan had kept me by his side, torturing me. The stress had given me a rare, aggressive form of stomach cancer. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. "Doctor, I'm sorry," I said. "I'm not going to do the chemo. My brother was the only family I had, and he was dead because of me." Now that I knew the truth, there was nothing left for me here. It was time to be with him. The doctor rushed out of his office after me. "Your case isn't hopeless," he said, his voice urgent. "With chemo, you still have a 50% chance of survival. Don't give up." I just shook my head and kept walking. 50%? So what? I hadn't wanted to live for a long time. After my brother died, the only thing that kept me going was the need to atone for his sin. But now I knew there was no sin to atone for. For the past 3 years, everyone said I was Ethan's dog. Every night, he made me kneel for 2 hours before I was allowed to sleep. The skin on my knees was a constant cycle of raw, open sores. He took me with him everywhere, just so I could be his arm candy at business dinners. He let his greasy clients grope me, their hands all over me. At first, I was allergic to alcohol. One drink would leave me covered in hives, struggling to breathe. But he showed no mercy. I was rushed to the hospital to have my stomach pumped more times than I could count. The moment I was stable, he would drag me out, his hand tight around my neck. "Does it hurt?" he would snarl. "This is what your brother did to my sister. You're going to pay for it, tenfold." He would force himself on me. When I was at my most vulnerable, my most broken, he would shatter what little dignity I had left. In 3 years of marriage, I had been pregnant 9 times. Each time, the moment the test was positive, he would drag me to the clinic for an abortion. After the 9th one, the doctor looked at my pale, gaunt face and sighed. "Honey, if you keep doing this to your body, you won't just be unable to have children. You'll be lucky to live to see 30. Ethan was standing right there. He just sneered. "Whether she lives or dies is up to me." My body was a wreck. A strong gust of wind could knock me over. So when I was diagnosed with cancer, it was a relief. Just then, my phone rang. It was Ethan. "Get to the hotel, now. There's a big client." I hung up before he could finish. I hailed a cab and went to my brother's grave. On the way, my mind drifted back to the beginning. He had been so good to me when we first met. He said he had been raised by his sister, so he had a soft spot for me. He would tuck my cold hands into his coat pocket in the winter. He drove halfway across the city just to buy me a specific pastry I had mentioned once. I was so touched. I fell for him, hard. But it was only after we were together that I found out how wealthy his family was. I was so insecure. I was an orphan, raised by my older brother. And to protect me, my brother had been bullied relentlessly by a group of thugs when we were kids. The trauma had left him with a severe mental illness. I didn't want to be a burden to Ethan. After talking it over with my brother, I decided to break up with him. But that night, Ethan knelt outside my dorm in the pouring rain. All night long. He texted me, "Chloe, you're the only one I will ever love. If you leave me, I can't live." In the end, I gave in. Against my brother's wishes, I stayed with him. Looking back now, all I felt was regret. At the cemetery, I knelt down and gently traced my brother's face on the headstone. Tears streamed down my cheeks. "I came to see you, Leo. Do you miss me? Don't worry, I'll be with you in a week." I sniffled, my voice choked with emotion. "You were right, Leo. Ethan and I were never meant to be. I should have listened to you, stayed away from him. Then you wouldn't have." A violent coughing fit cut me off. A metallic taste filled my mouth. I wiped my lips with the back of my hand and saw a smear of bright red blood. "See, Leo? I'm not doing so well myself. We'll be together again soon. And then, we'll never be apart again, okay?" I sat by his grave, talking to him for hours. I cried until I had no tears left. The sky turned dark, and a heavy rain began to fall. But I didn't move. I leaned against my brother's headstone and closed my eyes. The rain washed over me. My consciousness began to fade. A sharp, twisting pain shot through my stomach. I curled into a ball on the ground, shivering uncontrollably. Just as I was about to pass out, I heard footsteps. It was Ethan. He stood over me, holding a black umbrella. His brow was furrowed, a flicker of something that looked like concern in his eyes. But it was quickly replaced by disgust. "Did you think I wouldn't find you here?" His voice was like ice. "Chloe, who are you trying to fool with this pathetic act?" He reached down and yanked me to my feet. "Let's go. If I lose this deal, you'll pay for it." My face was a blank mask. "I told you, Ethan. I'm not listening to you anymore. Your sister told me. My brother never." "Shut up." He cut me off, his voice sharp. His eyes turned venomous. "You have the nerve to bring up my sister? What you and your brother owe her, you'll never be able to repay. You're not going anywhere until you're dead. You're my dog, and you'll stay by my side and atone for your sins." A bitter smile touched my lips. "You really hate me that much, don't you, Ethan? Hate me enough to want me dead? Don't worry. I will be. Soon." The pain in my stomach intensified. My vision went black, and I collapsed. When I opened my eyes, I was lying on a hotel bed. Ethan saw that I was awake and sneered, "Finally. I was starting to think you were going to keep up the act." He really thought I was faking. I closed my eyes, too weak to argue. But he got up, came to the bed, and grabbed my chin. "Don't play dead. Mr. Williams is waiting next door. Let's go." I shook my head, about to refuse. But he grabbed my arm and dragged me out of bed. He pulled me into the adjoining suite. Mr. Williams was sitting at the head of the table. His eyes lit up when he saw me. "Ethan, finally. I was beginning to think you wouldn't bring her." He immediately wrapped an arm around my waist, his hand roaming over my back. "Mrs. Archer, I hope you're ready for round 2. He picked up a bottle of tequila and poured a full glass. "Here. Have a drink with me, and we can talk business." The strong smell of alcohol made my stomach turn. I gagged. "What? Am I not good enough for you?" Mr. Williams's face darkened. Ethan stood by, his eyes cold. "Drink it." I had no choice. I took the glass and downed it in one go. The alcohol burned, and my whole body trembled. Mr. Williams laughed, pouring another glass. "That's more like it." Another one. Glass after glass. The pain in my stomach was excruciating. I could barely sit up straight. Suddenly, Ethan strode over, a frown on his face. He snatched the glass out of Mr. Williams's hand. "That's enough for tonight." Mr. Williams was taken aback, then he smiled. "Getting protective, are we, Ethan?" Ethan didn't answer. After seeing Mr. Williams out, he turned his attention to my pale face. There was a flicker of panic in his voice. "What the hell is wrong with you?" He finally seemed to realize I wasn't faking. Just then, the door to the suite opened again. "Ethan, I've been looking all over for you." Maya walked in and sat down next to me. When no one was looking, she dug her nails into my arm, hard. The pain jolted me back to reality. "Chloe, are you okay?" Maya asked, her voice dripping with fake concern. "You looked so sick a minute ago. Are you feeling better now? Were you just pretending so you wouldn't have to drink?" Ethan's eyes darkened. But he didn't force me to drink anymore. Maya, however, wasn't done. She wrapped her arm around his. "Ethan, didn't you promise you'd help me pick out a wedding dress today?" I froze, my mind going blank. Seeing my reaction, Maya turned to me, a triumphant smile on her face. "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Ethan and I are getting married. We were always supposed to. It was an arranged marriage." "You're not mad, are you?" I didn't say anything. After a moment, I let out a small laugh. "Congratulations. I wish you both a lifetime of happiness." My voice was calm. But Ethan's face instantly hardened. "Chloe, I don't need your fake congratulations. And don't think just because we're getting divorced, you're off the hook. You'll spend the rest of your life by our side, atoning for what you've done." Maya just smiled, taking my hand. "Chloe, you've been married before. You have experience. Why don't you come with us now and help me pick out a dress?" This time, I didn't refuse. At the bridal shop, Maya tried on dress after dress. When she came out in a mermaid-style gown, Ethan's eyes widened in admiration. He walked over and wrapped his arms around her from behind. "You look beautiful." They were so intimate, but I felt nothing. Then Maya looked at me and waved me over. "Chloe, come take some pictures for us." She handed me a camera. "Take a bunch. For the memories." I took the camera and started snapping pictures, my face a blank mask. I was a robot, going through the motions. No emotion at all. But Ethan seemed displeased. He frowned, his lips tight. "Come here. Kneel down and help Maya with her shoes." I stood there, frozen. "Are you deaf?" His eyes flashed with anger, and he shoved me. I stumbled and fell to the ground. Before I could get up, Maya tossed a pair of red high heels in front of me. "Chloe, help me see if these fit." I had no strength left. I just lay there on the floor, unable to speak. Seeing this, Maya lifted her foot and pressed it onto my back. The pain made me gasp. "Chloe, why aren't you moving?" Maya's voice was laced with malice. "Do I have to beg you?" I couldn't take it anymore. I tried to push her off. But the moment I moved, Ethan kicked me in the chest. I slammed back onto the floor, the wind knocked out of me. Behave yourself, Ethan warned, his voice low. Don't embarrass me here. Maya finally bent down and picked up the shoes, trying them on herself. Never mind, Ethan. I'll do it myself. Chloe is probably just tired. Ethan glanced at me but said nothing. I don't know how long I lay there. When they were finally done, Ethan looked down at me. Get up. We're leaving. I slowly pushed myself up, my body trembling. I followed them out of the shop. We went back to the Dalton estate. This had been my home with Ethan. Now, it was his and Maya's. Maya was treated like a princess. She did nothing all day. And I was their maid. I cooked all their meals. I served them on my knees. Maya seemed to enjoy it. She would deliberately be affectionate with Ethan in front of me. I would just silently clear the dishes, my face a blank slate. Soon, it was their wedding day. Ethan dragged me out of bed early in the morning and took me to the venue. It was extravagantly decorated. He took me to the entrance of the chapel, his eyes cold. When Maya walks in, I want you to lie on the ground. She'll walk over you. I looked up at him, my eyes wide with disbelief. What? You don't want to? He sneered. Chloe, don't forget what you and your brother owe my family. You'll never be able to repay it. Letting you be a human doormat is getting off easy. He turned and left to get the bride. I went backstage to wait, my body numb with cold. The pain in my stomach was getting worse. My head was spinning. I don't know how long I waited. I heard the wedding march start. I knew they were beginning the final rehearsal. Suddenly, the world started to spin. I knew I couldn't hold on much longer. I pulled out my phone and dialed Ethan's number. I don't know why I called him. Maybe, deep down, there was still a sliver of hope. But it wasn't Ethan who answered. It was Maya. What? Still trying to get his sympathy? I suggest you behave yourself. My wedding is about to start. Don't ruin it. My vision went black, and I lost consciousness. At that moment, at the entrance to the chapel, Ethan was holding Maya's hand, ready to walk down the aisle. He glanced at the spot where I was supposed to be. It was empty. Where the hell did she go? He frowned, a strange feeling of unease washing over him. He called over his assistant. Where's Chloe? Get her over here. The assistant ran off to find me. He came back a few moments later, his face pale. Mr. Archer, it's terrible. Ms. Reed collapsed backstage. There's blood everywhere. She has no vital signs. No vital signs? Ethan froze. His eyes were vacant, as if he couldn't comprehend the words. What are you talking about? His voice was tight, a tremor running through it. That woman is the queen of playing dead for sympathy. She must have bribed you, right? Trying to ruin my wedding? The assistant's face was chalk white. He shook his head frantically. No, sir. I didn't. There's blood everywhere. I saw it myself. It's real. Shut up. Ethan roared. His eyes were blazing with fury. Have you forgotten who signed your paycheck? Say one more word of this nonsense, and you're fired. The assistant was trembling, but he held his ground. Sir, just go see for yourself. Ethan's heart plummeted. A wave of panic, unlike anything he had ever felt, washed over him. He clenched his fists, his knuckles turning white. Lead the way. He had only taken 2 steps when Maya grabbed his arm. Ethan, where are you going? Her voice was on the verge of tears. The wedding is about to start. You can't leave. Chloe is just faking it. She's trying to ruin our wedding. She probably took something to make it look real. She's just trying to trick you. Can't we just go see her after the ceremony is over? Ethan frowned, trying to pull his arm away. But Maya held on tighter. Ethan, this is our wedding. Everyone is watching. If you leave now, it will be a huge embarrassment for both our families. And besides, if you go, you'll be falling right into her trap. Ethan hesitated. He looked at Maya's tear-filled eyes, then thought of Chloe's usual behavior. Maybe it really was a trick. Fine, he said through gritted teeth. After the wedding, I'll deal with her. A smile instantly lit up Maya's face. She took his hand and led him into the chapel. Oh, Ethan, you're the best. The wedding began. Ethan stood at the altar, watching Maya walk toward him in her white dress. But his heart was in a vice, a growing sense of dread tightening around it. The unease was becoming unbearable. He kept glancing toward the back of the chapel, the assistant's words replaying in his head. He tried to reassure himself. It's impossible. Chloe loves life too much. She would never. Mr. Archer. The officiant's voice brought him back to reality. Do you take Maya to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold? Wait. Ethan cut him off, his eyes resolute. Stop the wedding. The entire chapel fell silent. All eyes were on him. The color drained from Maya's face. Ethan, what are you doing? I have to go check on her. Ethan pushed her hand away, his voice urgent. I'll be back. In that moment, he couldn't stand it any longer. He had to see Chloe, now. No, Maya sobbed, grabbing his leg. Ethan, you can't go. This is our wedding. If you leave, what will I do? Normally, seeing Maya cry would have softened him. But right now, all he could think about was Chloe. He pushed her away and ran toward the back of the chapel. I'll be right back. He could hear Maya's heart-wrenching sobs behind him, but he didn't turn back. The lighting backstage was dim. The moment he stepped inside, the thick, metallic smell of blood hit him. Ethan froze. An invisible hand squeezed his heart, making it almost impossible to breathe. The floor was covered in a pool of dark red. Chloe was lying in the middle of it, her face as white as a sheet. Her eyes were closed, her body lifeless. "Chloe?" Ethan's voice trembled. He walked toward her, step by step, and knelt down. He reached out a shaking hand and touched her cheek. It was ice cold. He flinched. "Chloe, stop pretending. Get up. I know you're faking it. I won't force you anymore. Just get up, okay?" He shook her gently, but she was unresponsive. A broken doll. Pure, unadulterated panic consumed him. "Chloe! Chloe!" He scooped her into his arms, his voice hoarse. "Wake up. I was wrong, I shouldn't have forced you. Wake up. We're going to the hospital." He ran, holding her, a madman. He pulled out his phone, his hand shaking so badly he could barely dial. "Hello, 911? I need an ambulance at the Grand Hotel, someone is bleeding out." Ethan. Maya had followed him. When she saw the scene, her face went ashen. "Are you really going to abandon our wedding for her? Just let the doctors handle it. Let's go finish the ceremony." But Ethan stopped and turned to her. His eyes were cold, venomous. "Maya, that's enough. She's like this, and you're still thinking about the wedding?" Maya was stunned. It was the first time he had ever spoken to her like that. "Ethan, you. There was never anything real between us," Ethan said, his voice devoid of any warmth. "This wedding was just a way to get to Chloe. I never thought it would turn out like this." Maya staggered back, her body trembling. "What did you say?" she whispered in disbelief. "I was just a pawn in your game? After all these years, you never felt anything for me?" She remembered scheming with Olivia to frame Chloe. She thought that once Chloe was gone, Ethan would finally see her, love her. So when she found out that Ethan, despite his cruelty, was secretly sending Chloe medicine, she had intercepted it all. She had bribed the staff at the Dalton estate to make Chloe's life a living hell. She thought that eventually, Chloe would break and leave on her own. But she had never imagined that, through it all, the only person in Ethan's heart was Chloe. Maya's face was ashen. She couldn't speak. Ethan didn't look at her again. He ran, holding Chloe, toward the entrance. The ambulance was already there. He carefully placed her on the stretcher and climbed in after her. "Please, you have to save her," he begged the paramedic, his eyes filled with desperation. "She can't die. She absolutely cannot die." The paramedic just looked at him. "We'll do our best." The ambulance sped toward the hospital. Ethan sat beside her, holding her cold hand. Looking at her bloodless face, tears finally streamed down his cheeks. "Chloe, wake up. I was wrong. I shouldn't have made you kneel, made you drink, shouldn't have disbelieved you. Wake up, and we can start over, okay? I'll give you anything you want." But Chloe didn't respond. At the hospital, she was rushed into the emergency room. The red light above the door flickered on. Ethan paced back and forth outside, a growing sense of dread consuming him. After what felt like an eternity, the light went off. The doctor came out, took off his mask, and shook his head. Ethan's world collapsed. "Doctor, how is she?" "We did everything we could," the doctor said with a sigh. The patient had severe stomach cancer. It was in the final stages. Combined with long-term malnutrition and severe blood loss. She had no vital signs when she arrived. "Cancer? Terminal?" Ethan was stunned, his mind a complete blank. "What did you say? How could she have cancer?" "I was her primary physician," the doctor said, his eyes filled with a quiet reproach. She had been in for tests many times. Her body was completely failing. It's a miracle she lasted this long. As her family, didn't you know any of this? Ethan let out a bitter laugh. Her family, what had he ever done but torture her? "I didn't know," he said, his voice hoarse. "She never told me." "That would explain why she always came in alone," the doctor said. "She had a chance. About a week ago, she was scheduled for chemotherapy. But then, for some reason, she canceled the appointment. Said she wasn't going to go through with it. I asked her why. All she said was that she had no reason to live. A week ago." Ethan remembered. That was the day Olivia had gone to see Chloe. Was it because of what Olivia told her? Was that why she gave up? He immediately grabbed Chloe's phone and checked her messages. He saw the 2 texts from Olivia. Regret, swift and brutal, drowned him. He froze. It was all a lie. If he hadn't believed Olivia, if he hadn't tortured her, if he had just noticed how sick she was, would things have been different? "Doctor, please, try again," Ethan begged, grabbing the doctor's arm like a drowning man. "I'll pay anything." The doctor just shook his head sadly. "Sir, we really did everything we could." Just then, a nurse came over with a death certificate. "Family member, you need to sign this." Ethan stared at the paper. The name Chloe burned his eyes. He took the pen, his hand trembling. It felt as heavy as lead. He couldn't do it. But eventually, he signed his name. The moment he did, all the strength left his body. He collapsed onto a chair in the hallway, his eyes vacant. His mind was a relentless replay of his time with Chloe. When they first met, she was wearing a white sundress, smiling brightly in the sun. The time he knelt outside her dorm in the rain, begging her not to leave him, and she had hugged him, her heart breaking for him. The early days of their marriage, when she would cook for him every night, waiting for him to come home. And then? He had believed the lies. He had treated her like an enemy. He made her kneel, made her drink, forced her to abort their children. Over and over, he had broken her. He thought she would always be there. He thought she would never leave. He thought it was all just an act. He had never imagined she would actually be gone, especially not like this. Chloe. He whispered her name, tears streaming down his face. I was wrong. Come back, please? I'll never force you again. We can start over. But there were no more chances. His voice grew quieter, until it was just a silent, choked sob. After a while, the world went black. He slumped to the floor, unconscious. When I came to, I was floating. My body was weightless. Below me was the hospital hallway. The door to the emergency room was closed. Ethan was collapsed on a chair. His head was buried in his hands, his shoulders shaking. I could hear his broken, muffled sobs. He was crying. I was stunned. I couldn't believe it. I thought he would be happy that I was dead. After all, in his eyes, my brother and I were monsters. He had hated me, tortured me for 3 years. Why was he crying? Chloe. He whispered my name, his voice filled with a bottomless regret. I was wrong. I shouldn't have disbelieved you, shouldn't have forced you. Come back, please? I'll give you anything, just come back. He repeated it over and over, his tears soaking his shirt. The arrogant, cruel man was gone. In his place was a lost, broken child. I floated in front of him, watching his anguish. A sharp pain pierced my heart. Tears fell from my eyes, but they passed right through my ghostly form, leaving no trace on the floor. Even in death, my tears were invisible. I had imagined this moment so many times. If Ethan ever found out the truth, found out my brother and I were innocent, what would he do? Would he regret it? Would he apologize? I thought I would be happy. I thought I would feel a sense of justice, that I would laugh at his pain. But watching him like this, I felt no satisfaction. Just a deep, profound sadness. No amount of regret could turn back time. Chloe, don't worry, Ethan suddenly said, looking up. His eyes were bloodshot, but his gaze was fiercely determined. I will get revenge for you. It was Maya. That bitch. She's the one who did this to you, to your brother. I won't let her get away with it. He pulled out his phone and called his assistant. His voice was like ice. Bring Maya to the hospital. Now. He hung up and looked back at the emergency room door, his expression softening. After I take care of this, I'll come be with you. I won't leave you alone again. I just watched him, a mix of emotions swirling within me. What was the point of all this now? A little while later, his assistant brought Maya to the hospital. She was still in her wedding dress, her face a mask of confusion and fear. Ethan, what's going on? The wedding isn't over. We have to go back. Ethan stood up, his eyes cold. He walked toward her, step by step. Maya was scared. Ethan, what's wrong? Smack. He slapped her across the face. The force of it sent her sprawling to the floor. Blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. Ah, she screamed, looking at him in disbelief. Ethan, you hit me? Hit you? He sneered, his eyes venomous. I want to kill you. The things you and Olivia did, you think I don't know? You framed Chloe, you got her brother killed, you stole the medicine I sent her, you bribed the staff to torture her. Did you really think I was that stupid? Maya's face went white. She was trembling. I didn't. You didn't? Ethan bent down and grabbed a fistful of her hair, yanking her to her feet. Why do you think Chloe got cancer? Why do you think she gave up on treatment? It was you. It was all you. His grip was like iron. Maya was crying, struggling. Ethan, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to happen. It was Olivia's idea. She said if Chloe was gone, you would finally love me. I really didn't know it would turn out like this. You didn't know? Ethan's voice was even colder. You watched the staff abuse her, and you're telling me you didn't know? Maya was speechless. All she could do was sob and beg for forgiveness. Ethan, I'm sorry. Please, forgive me. I'll never do it again. I floated nearby, watching her pathetic display. I felt nothing. She deserved all of this, but Ethan wasn't done. He started hitting her, over and over. His eyes were bloodshot, like a wild animal. You hurt her. You lied. She's dead, and I'm going to make sure you wish you were too. Maya's cries grew weaker. She was covered in bruises. Finally, she passed out. His assistant finally intervened. Sir, please stop. You're going to kill her. Ethan finally stopped, his chest heaving. He looked down at Maya's unconscious body, his eyes still filled with a cold rage. Take her to a psychiatric hospital. Let her experience what Chloe's brother went through. And make sure she never gets out. Yes, sir, the assistant said, quickly having her carried away. Then Ethan turned back to the emergency room door, his expression softening again. Chloe, don't worry. I'll tell everyone the truth. I'll tell them you were both innocent. I'll have you buried together. And then, the three of us will never be apart again. I just looked at him and shook my head. Ethan, you still don't get it. This was never what I wanted. I just wanted a peaceful life with my brother. I just wanted to live, but you took that away from me. Ethan seemed to sense something. He looked up, in the direction I was floating. Chloe? Is that you? Are you watching me? He reached out, as if trying to grab something. But his hand closed on empty air. I looked at him, a wave of sadness washing over me. Ethan sighed and turned to leave the hospital. I was still getting used to the blinding light of the living world when I heard the screech of tires. Then, the assistant's horrified scream. Mr. Archer. I whipped around. At the hospital entrance, a large truck had lost control. Ethan was standing right in its path. He was thrown into the air, a spray of blood painting the pavement. He lay on the ground, his eyes looking in my direction. A faint smile touched his lips. Chloe. He managed to say my name. Then, his head lolled to the side, and he was gone. The next moment, a bright white light flashed. Ethan's spirit rose from his body. He looked at his own corpse, then at me. His eyes were filled with a mixture of surprise and guilt. Chloe, I found you. He walked toward me, his hand outstretched. I'm so sorry. It was all my fault. Can we start over? I just looked at him. I didn't speak. I just raised my hand and slapped him across the face. Smack. I put all my strength into it. Ethan, it's too late. My voice was calm, but filled with an infinite weariness. Start over? You never believed me. From the moment you sent my brother to that hospital. From the moment you made me kneel, made me drink. From the moment you forced me to abort our children. There was no starting over for us. Ethan was stunned. The stinging on his cheek was nothing compared to the pain in his heart. Chloe, He wanted to say more. But I turned my back on him. In front of me, a warm, white light appeared. In the light stood a familiar figure. It was my brother. He was wearing a white shirt, a gentle smile on his face. He reached out his hand to me. Chloe, I'm here to take you home. Leo. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I ran toward him. Tears, finally, could fall freely. Ethan stood there, watching me go. He reached out, as if to grab me. But he couldn't. All he could do was watch. Watch as I fell into my brother's arms, as we walked into the light together. We never looked back. This time, I could finally be with my brother without any reservations. No more Ethan. No more Maya. No more pain and suffering. Just me and my brother, together forever.